In today's video, we're going to be taking a big look here at the current conditions where there is a whole lot of frontal boundaries and pressure systems going on here, but actually, there's only one really big area of storminess actually taking place currently. We'll dive into all this, get through it, and then we'll move on to the modeled guidance where there is multiple upcoming interesting storms, some colder air on the way for a period, then some warmer air, and then maybe even some long-term cold air in the long-term pattern that we can see. So we'll take a look at all of these things within this video. Let's just dive into this, and really we're seeing some weaker low pressure systems and some frontal boundaries here. As you can see, no precipitation along any of these really. So this is indicative of a very weak frontal boundaries in here. As we take a look out west, we can see there is a larger storm system here with a secondary low kind of near Nevada, kind of southern Nevada there. An occlusion in the front here on this northern side, but as we move through southward, we see there is a cold front there on the further southern extent there for the most part. As we take a look at all of this precipitation, we can see some showers reaching as far northward as Oregon and Idaho there, with some rainfall and snowfall showers pretty much just depending on your elevation there. We can see that for areas of north central Nevada, we're seeing this heavier snowfall near Elko and areas south of there, especially seeing some of those heavier snowfall conditions. We can see this swirling of this very, very strong storm taking place. This is obviously indicative of a very intense storm. And then we see very heavy snowfall taking place here for the Sierra Nevadas. Not quite as heavy as yesterday, I wouldn't say, but nearly just as heavy. And we could see the continuation of these heavier showers just moving right on shore and right into the Sierra Nevada mountains. And this is what continues to bring the heavy, heavy snowfall for a lot of these areas. As we work our way towards southern California here, we can see Los Angeles was hit with some very heavy showers, if not maybe even thunderstorms there. Earlier on this afternoon into kind of like the late morning that was happening. So very interesting stuff. I always tend to zoom into this Los Angeles region whenever I see precipitation down there because it's always so interesting to me how rare it is. As we work our way just a little bit further eastward towards our Rocky Mountains here, we see rainfall showers, mostly rainfall showers at least, developing across the plains. That's for Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota here. And then over those Rocky Mountains here just to the west of those plains, we do see some snowfall showers happening in those areas. Now with this, I think it's this frontal boundary here, we are seeing some precipitation in this pocket, as you can see, for Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, especially there. And this is definitely some lighter precipitation, but it is precipitation regardless. We do see some snowfall here as well for northern lower peninsula of Michigan, and then kind of like that eastern front of the west or of the upper peninsula there. As we work our way a little bit further eastward, we can see some passing snow showers here for Maine, especially this very western portion of Maine there. That's like the first time I've ever made a square instead of a circle there. I don't know why I did that, but I did. We see this pocket right here of Maine seeing some snowfall, even some portions of Canada here, as you can see. St. John, Moncton, Halifax, they're all seeing some snowfall showers. Now, that seems to be, just about it across the nation. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and talk about the upcoming weather, because there is a whole lot upcoming in that upcoming pattern. Now, here we are talking about the upcoming storminess, and as you can see, as we kind of reach into tomorrow, Wednesday, we can see that we have another storm system hammering its way into the western United States. Our original one is now located primarily over Kansas and Oklahoma here. We see some snowfall across the Rockies and portions of the plains here with some rainfall underneath here as we have warmer air surging in. Our jet stream, by the way, doing about like this at this point. So we're seeing this surging of the warm air here, and this is going to allow for some severe weather to set up here kind of midweek, especially here on Thursday. So we'll see some here on Wednesday perhaps for this pocket here, at least overnight Wednesday into Thursday. But Thursday, during the day, we are watching as we're going to have this classic setup here with a cold front swinging underneath. And we will be watching, as I've noted a couple days in a row here, this pocket in here along that cold front for some severe weather. Even tornadoes, as the Storm Prediction Center has kind of pointed out, won't be ruled out during this event. We definitely could see a few spin-up tornadoes, so that needs to be watched for sure. And as we see this roll through, Thursday night into Friday, we will see some severe weather and thunderstorms still for this area, especially the further south you go, but it won't be quite as intense as it was there primarily for most of Thursday. Now, as we can see behind this cold front that is now located here, we see some cold air surging in, and that's bringing some mixed showers. And then just to the north of this warm front, we are seeing some front-end snowfall there as well. As we just continue this on, we can see the back-end snowfall is trending less and less impactful. And even now, as you can see, there seems to be hardly any snowfall here, maybe snowfall showers. So this snowstorm is definitely trending in the wrong direction if you wanted cold and snow. Although we do see plenty of cold here actually in this big dip of a trough here. We kind of get this type of a look here. So a miniature trough here in the west bringing some cold. And definitely a more intense one out east, but still not a major trough by any means. It's pretty marginal with the cold. It just takes it pretty far is what I would say. It stretches quite a bit here. That is the main takeaway. Now we do get some similar storms as we just continue this train of Pacific storms. Probably, you're seeing 3, 4, 5, 6 on any given model run here this winter. It's been really intense. Now this is by the time we're reaching Monday the 16th, and we see this cold front underneath, warm front up above look once again, and that's going to also bring potential severe weather in here. Starting Monday the 16th, and then even Tuesday the 17th here, can't rule it out underneath for these areas as well. We get an interesting shape here on this cold front. It looks like it's doing almost like this. Low pressure system being here, probably warm front in here. Very, very weird look there. But regardless, it does look like there is a warm sector in here that would allow for thunderstorm and potentially severe weather there in the southeast. That's Tuesday the 17th. Now, this one here we see develop, but it develops very far south, and then it surges northward from this point. But we see the same exact setup, this warm front there, cold front here, and again, we're going to have another severe weather event to watch here, potentially Wednesday into Thursday. Thursday there, we see it really rising up and severe weather potential here with that cold front extending underneath, warm front up here. Definitely seeing back-to-back-to-back setups like this. And again, the southeast corridor can't be ruled out for some thunderstorms and severe weather with this one. But certainly not looking wintry yet, according to this European model in the upcoming pattern. And that's, I think, the most interesting thing, in my opinion, happening here. Definitely very interesting, to say the least. Now, as we take a look at our GFS model, we're going to see how this one differs. But we really see mostly the same thing. I think we get a little bit more snowfall for a lot of these interior regions here. So as we're taking a look at this Appalachian region here, through there we do get a bit more precipitation, and we get this kind of colder pattern again. But then we warm up. We get these passing storms just like the European models. So these are in agreement through that point. We get 1, 2, 3 of those there, just like we see on the European model. Then we see right around the 21st, this is the pattern breaking trough that we see move in here on the GFS model. We see this move eastward here, and look at that. Instantly, we can tell there's a big ridge developing out west, this massive trough barreling towards the eastern United States, and we can even see a low developing along this trough here, and this would bring potential inland snowfalls we can already see developing here across these regions here. Definitely a positive PNA look here, bubble of warm air. That's kind of what we're seeing here with this cold barreling eastward. Now that's Sunday the 22nd, and we get a bit of a snowstorm there, as you can see. Then we're left with a pretty major trough and a bit of a question mark in the long range. We see this trough lift off. Take this with a grain of salt, all of it for the most part on this GFS model. But perhaps a ridge returning out eastward is kind of what I'm seeing here. Very, very quickly after that cool down moves in. And we're starting to see some cold air trickling back out west, which would indicate negative PNA pattern kind of trending in there. Very interesting stuff here in the upcoming pattern. Now the temperature pattern, kind of a spoiler alert there, but here we go with the European ensemble model. We see that warm up, the big cool down that's very brief, kind of for the weekend. So Saturday here, this is the high temperatures, and we'll see this bit of a cool down, unseasonably cold temperatures for maybe 24 hours, because by Sunday's high temperatures, it's more near normal here. And then already by Monday, we're seeing the warmer than normal temperatures return. Then we kind of get a similar setup. A cold front in there brings more neutral temperatures midweek. But as we could see after the 21st, just like the GFS model showed, we see significant cooling here according to this European ensemble model, with some cold air being trended in here over the past few runs. And that continues on through the 25th here on this model. But you can see we still have these colder temperatures out here. And likely what's happening here, and I've talked about this before, is we're seeing different ensemble members according to this ensemble model kind of disagreeing. There's 30 members here, and when we see half doing cold in the east here and half doing cold out west with the negative PNA continuing, what we end up seeing is a look like this, where it's kind of contradicting itself, obviously, but for the most part, this is probably not what it will look like. This just shows that there is some disagreement still on the models, and that means we need to wait and see what these models continue to show over the next week or so. So be sure to subscribe, as we will go over all of these things every single day and keep you guys up to date. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications so you don't miss an upload. Also, like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.